So today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is something that is all around us, whether it's in TV shows or movies or in apps that we encounter on a day-to-day life. If you look at your left, there's this app over here that's called Rethink. We'll talk about this a little bit later in the slideshow. Rethink is an app that is used to stop or prevent cyberbullying. Down here we have a movie called Cyberbullying that was actually on ABC Family, now known as Freeform, a few years ago, and it dealt with the consequences of a girl being bullied. There is also a documentary that came out recently regarding cyberbullying. This kind of shows the effects that it has on teens, on families, where cyberbullying actually got so extreme that they've lost daughters or sons. And then over here, we have Degrassi Next Class, which is a teen show that has dealt with cyberbullying head-on. So what exactly is cyberbullying? According to Common Sense Media, cyberbullying uses digital media tools to deliberately upset or harass someone. The key word here is deliberately. And how is this any different than traditional bullying? The problem with cyberbullying is it can happen anytime. It happens 24/7. You don't necessarily need to be at school. The person who normally does cyberbullying posts anonymously, and because of the wide audience of the web, the information is distributed quite quickly. Also, once it is on the web, it is out there, and deleting it is proven to be very, very difficult. So there are all these different types of cyberbullying, and we'll just talk a little bit about some of them because the list is pretty extensive. The one that most people know is putting mean or hurtful messages up on any kind of social media, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or what have you. Also, there's a lot of fighting online that can lead to rude or angry comments, and the first thing that comes to mind right now is politics, because we're in a political season, that this has been happening quite a lot. If you share private information about someone online, that is definitely cyberbullying. Pretending to be someone else, or what we call catfishing, there's a whole show devoted to this now on MTV. Also, this is what we now know as identity theft, and it is a huge problem. And then harassment, like I said above, and any type of cyber stalking. There's lots of different types of cyberbullying, but these are the most common that we have seen. So what are the effects of cyberbullying? Someone who has been cyberbullied, they are more likely to use drugs and alcohol. They are more likely to not want to go to school, because if something is happening at home and they're being bullied via social media, it's probably happening to them wherever they attend school. They will also begin receiving poor grades, or their grades may be slipping. They'll have very, very low self-esteem. And there are a lot of connections between traditional bullying and cyberbullying. So today, traditional bullying is still much more common than cyberbullying. However, if you are being traditionally bullied, you have a greater chance that you're also being cyberbullied. So cyberbullying has just kind of exploded the realm in which you can say mean or hurtful things to people. And a lot of people think because of social media we don't have a consequence, but there are actually many terrible consequences of it. So how can you prevent this as a student? First, think about what you post. Who are your posts intended for? Are they intended for your friends, your families? Would you want total strangers to read this? Also, do not share your passwords with anyone. I like to think of our social media accounts as a locker. We tell you here in school, do not share your locker code with anyone, and the same goes for your passwords. In each of your social media accounts, you have privacy settings. It's also a great idea to go into that and to kind of view what you have set already, which is, can complete strangers see your information, or have you set it so only the people you are friends with on that site can see your information? Also, it's my job as a teacher and our job as a school to help you as a student learn how to navigate the web in a very safe way and to be interacting with people in a safe, responsible, and socially conscious manner. So, it happened someone cyberbullied you or they cyberbullied your friend. What do you do now? First of all, do not respond at all. This could make the situation a lot worse. Do not delete anything. That's usually people's first kind of mode. They want to go on and erase any evidence that they've been cyberbullied. That evidence is super crucial. You want to save exactly what that person said, who said it, the date, and the time that it was said. You want this information to either take to an adult, a school, or maybe law enforcement if law enforcement gets involved. You can actually block the person who said something awful to you or a friend. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Being a bystander in a situation. If you have a friend who's been cyberbullied, it is just as terrible to be passive about the situation as it is to actually be the cyberbullier yourself. So if any of this happens to you or your friend, you want to make sure you immediately tell a trusted adult. That could be a teacher, a parent. You also want to tell the school. Now, I know at our school we have a lot of consequences in school policies in place, so this doesn't happen. At our school, you are definitely looking at a referral if we hear of anything that was inappropriately posted, even if it didn't happen on school grounds. So we've actually had people suspended or expelled because of cyberbullying. So, how do you report it? The first thing, if you or a friend has been cyberbullied, if you go and do a simple Google search, you can type in, say, Snapchat ad reporting cyberbullying. And a list will come up that actually tells you how to report hurtful comments or a person to the site. It is the site's legal responsibility to actually take care of the problem. An example I put up here is one that I found on Instagram. So they give you a link of how to address abuse on Instagram, how to report it, how to actually fill out a form that the website will then look at and take care of, how to block people. And last but not least, if law enforcement needs to get involved, the way that law enforcement would actually get involved in one of these cases is if you or someone posts inappropriate photos or photos where someone would expect privacy and you've leaked them out in a public manner. If there is a hate crime involved or stalking, law enforcement will definitely be involved. If there are any threats of violence, law enforcement will also be involved. I've had many friends who have actually had police show up to their campus because of incidences like these, and high schoolers have actually gone to jail because of stuff like this. So something that I found that was very cool, there's this app that I mentioned at the beginning. It's called the Rethink app, and it's actually an app to prevent cyberbullying. This is completely free for any iPhone or Android users. And it was actually developed by this 15-year-old girl that you see up here in this picture. She heard a terrible story in the news of an 11-year-old who committed suicide because she was cyberbullied. Now, this 15-year-old was so taken aback by this news that she wanted to create something that would prevent this in the future. She'd been coding since she was 10, and she was really into that, so she developed this app. And how it works is this. You download on your settings a certain type of keyboard, and the app actually recognizes hurtful words or comments used in a correct context. And when you are about to post something to any social media site, a little app like up here will pop on up, and it will ask you if you really mean to post what you are about to post. Now, they've done a lot of research with this app, and they actually found that for students, their willingness to post an offensive message dropped from 71% to 4%. So it's a pretty big jump once you think about it. It cannot eradicate cyberbullying completely, but it definitely helps, and it is something just to have on your phone, just in case, to prevent you from posting something that you wish you didn't in the future. And that is all I have for you today. Here's my bibliography with all of the sites and resources that I used, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.